Generally speaking, most employees are entitled to the overtime if they work more than 8 hours in a day, but there can be some exemptions and exceptions. Many employers think that if I pay you a salary, well, then I don't have to pay you any overtime, and that is not correct. Paying an employee a salary is part of the test. There's three main exemptions under California law. Most employees are entitled to get overtime if they work more than 8 hours in a day, more than 40 hours in a week, or if they work 7 days in a row. And they get double time if they work over 12 hours in a day, or if they work more than 8 hours on that 7th day in a row. There are certain exceptions, or exemptions as we call them, from the overtime laws. The main ones are the administrative, the executive, and the professional exemption. Now, all three of those do require the employee receive a salary of at least 2 times minimum wage. There's also a duties test that you have to apply in California. So not only do they get a salary, but they have to spend more than 50% of their time performing exempt duties. And this is where federal law and state law differ. Federal law, their primary duty has to be exempt duties, like managing people, supervising people, training people, running the business. In state law, they have to actually spend more than 50% of their time performing exempt duties. A good example is the manager at a fast food restaurant. If I'm working at a fast food restaurant, I'm the manager, I'm in charge of hiring, I'm in charge of firing, I'm in charge of training, but my budget is so low, I can't hire enough personnel, so I end up running the cash register. I end up cleaning the bathrooms, I end up flipping burgers, all those things that the other workers do. In fact, I spend most of my time. Well, under federal law, I'm still exempt from overtime, and the employer does not have to pay me overtime when I work more than 8 hours in a day. Under California law, since I spend most of my time doing lower level work, I'm still entitled to get paid overtime. And a lot of employers make that mistake. They assume, oh, if I pay you a salary, that covers everything. The burden is on the employer to prove that each of the exempt employees falls squarely within that exemption. So if you have a borderline employee, somebody, well, yeah, we call them the office manager, but the office manager really is answering phones, is really just doing, entering bills and sending out invoices, but is not making decisions that are going to affect the business as a whole or making policy decisions. I highly recommend talking with somebody who's familiar with wage and hour laws to determine whether or not this person is correctly classified.